Our national anthem complete. Great job by Catherine Skinner. And it's now time to take a look at the starting lineup for the host, San Francisco Deltas. Rommel Pecer, no surprise, back in goal on defense. We will see Patrick Hopkins, as well as the captain, Nana Atakora, Carl Ouimet, and Jackson in as well. Michael Stevens in the midfield with Christian Portilla, who sets the players up better than everybody else in San Francisco. Tyler Gibson. And then up front, Pablo Diego and Tommy Heineman. And quite a bit of change is between this match and the match of last week. But right now we take a look down at field level. Tonight the Deltas are joined by 9-year-old Isai Catalan of Oakland, along with his team, the under-12 FC Leopards. Isai was walking with his dog on his birthday, no less, with his parents on his street when he was hit by stray bullets from random gunfire. The Deltas and BART Chief of Police Carlos Rojas surprised Isai and his team with tickets at their practice this week to recognize Isai, his family, and his community's bravery and resilience. And tonight, Isai is performing the coin flip at midfield, and we hope Isai has a night to remember and a great thing to see by the Deltas as well as BART.
Very nice touch by the team and by the BART police, of course. So certainly wish the young man all the best and hope he enjoys the match tonight.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to, as we mentioned, quite a bit of changes from the last match between these same Deltas and Miami. Of course, the last match back in Florida.
Yeah, 5 changes made to Marc Dos Santos' starting lineup. It's the first time they played a 3-5-2 all season. They did start 5 players in midfield against the Cosmos back on the 28th of May. But Maxime Tissot will return to the starting lineup for the first time since the trip to Puerto Rico on the 10th of June. Carl Ouimet makes his first start since the U.S. Open Cup match versus Phoenix Rising on May 31st. Hopkins will make his first start since playing FC Edmonton back on the 17th of June. Cruz is on the bench, as is Becker. He's on the bench for the first time in NASL competition so far this season. Rounding out the bench will be Devin Sandoval, Jordan, Cruz, Luban, and Stuart Seus to complete the substitutes bench for the Deltas.
Well, as Marc Dos Santos said during the week, well, people would think he was crazy if he didn't change things up for this match, and so he certainly is doing so. And now it will be the 4 officials who will make some key decisions in tonight's matchup, just like we saw last week when Renar Ferreira was given the straight red card, and he, of course, suspended for this match as well. The referee for tonight, Alejandro Mariscal, with the 2 assistants, Michael Camp Meinert and Chris Hutchinson, and the 4th official, Turan Ozdemir, and we are set to go here between the Deltas and Miami. And a look at the Miami FC head coach, Alessandro Nesta. He is known, well, worldwide for his football prowess when he was a player named to the FIFA Top 100 Greatest Living Football Players back in 2004, and now he is starting his coaching trade with Miami FC, and in his second season with them, he's doing quite a good job.
He's on the Patrick Vieira course to success. Safe to say that, Jason. But, man, you talk about Nesta's contribution to the game. He's won it all, a couple of Champions Leagues, numerous Serie A championships, a World Cup. Can't ask for a better resume than that.
Certainly not, and there's Tommy Heineman set to start things off between the Deltas and Miami. We're underway. The Deltas trying to avenge their loss from last week. Probably not trying to go for the same score. That would be quite a tall task, as Miami FC, well, they were far and away the best team in the NASL in the spring season. The good thing is, well, unlike pretty much most other leagues, minus maybe the Mexican League and a couple others, if you win the second half of the league, you're doing just as well as winning the first half of the league.
Indeed. Miami tonight in the third kit, the white uniforms with the blue trim. I like it.
It's already Miami on the attack. Nice slide tackle there by Nana Atakora.
And Dylan Maris just took out Pezer as he went for the ball after Adekor slid in for the challenge. And the referee will stop play here as Pezer seems to be in a little bit of distress. But already Miami FC looking at ways to carve up this Deltas defense. And the Pezer is upset that Maris didn't get a call for that.
And it's not the first time this season that the keeper Pezer is sporting a hat because, well, the sun is setting directly in front of him thanks to the position of the field. He is facing due west, and that's where the sun is setting right now. So Pezer, we'll probably see him ditch the baseball cap later on in this half.
We will indeed. It is, as we've commented on numerous times so far this season, a difficult setting sun to deal with here at Kezar.
When they built this stadium, the stands were a little bit higher over there on the end zone, so the sun would be basically behind the seats by now. But because they reduced the number of seats at Kezar Stadium, it's now, well, there's not much blocking that. Some trees and, of course, the Kezar Stadium arch right there. A throw in here for Miami FC as we're just underway at Kezar Stadium. It's another hashtag Kezar night and a beautiful start to this game here. Not too cool, not too windy, and Carl the Fog has stayed away so far as a free kick is earned by Miami.
So a couple of fouls given there against the Deltas. First, Gibson going in on Ranella, and now a shove on Lahoud by Heineman, and the referee is going to call Heineman over for a quick word here. You don't want your leading scorer to go into the book less than 3 minutes into the match.
And certainly the referee in the last match made some key decisions, and we're hoping that we can keep the full number of men on each side, 11 versus 11, because once San Francisco went down to 10 men, well, they were in even deeper trouble than they already were.
And we'd be amiss to say that Kenny Tysa is not in the starting lineup either. Suffered a concussion against the Miami FC last week, had to leave the field of play, and is not participating in today's match as Carl Ouimet will take his position at left back. Patrick Hopkins will play at right back while Jackson starts on the right side of midfield.
Hopkins, just his third start in NASL play this season, fourth start in all competitions. So Hopkins, a tall task tonight going up against this firepower of Miami. But on the attack is San Francisco into the box, and that's grabbed there by the keeper, Vega, the Argentinian. An easy stop for him.
That started with Diego along the sideline, wrong-footing his man, finding Portilla in space, who in turn found Stevens out on the right side, who then passed it to Jackson. So nice bit of play there from the Deltas, but that ball into the box a little bit too high for Tommy Heineman.
San Francisco sporting a 3-game unbeaten streak at home, 2 wins and a draw in their last 3 here at Kezar.
So far, Jason, the Deltas are not giving Miami any time on the ball to be comfortable.
And
they've been applying pressure all over the field so far.
Certainly interesting to not see Stefano Pino in the starting lineup for Miami. That's a lot of firepower that's sitting on the bench. Well, you could probably call him a super sub, just like you could say Kyle Becker on the bench is a super sub for Marc Dos Santos.
Pretty sure, though, Jason, the Deltas are glad that Pino's starting or going to be coming off the bench, perhaps, in the match tonight.
Miami already clinching the spring season, but, of course, wanting to play well in the second half so they get some momentum going into the championship playoff. If the fall season winner picks up more points in that half of the season than the Miami did in the first half, then it would be this fall team that has home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So Miami FC certainly does have a lot to play for here in the second half of the season. Long ball up, Diego going for it. Diego defended there nicely by Blake Smith out of El Paso, Texas, and it will be cleared there from danger. Miami going the other way.
Poor first touch there from Poku. It's not very often that we say that, but gives it away. And we've talked about all the firepower that Miami have, Jason, but their defense is equally stingy. After the 7 goals conceded by the Deltas last week, they are now tops of the league in terms of goals conceded, with just 10 on the season so far. And that back four of Freeman, Bernstein, Smith, and Trafford has been absolutely outstanding this season for Coach Nestor. And Heineman now again will attract the attentions of the referee.
And that was actually Tommy Heineman going straight to the referee because Portilla had kind of a dangerous dive. He didn't seem to hit it with his hand or really even touch any of the Miami players, but it was kind of a dangerous dive onto the ball, and the referee Mariscal decided to give the advantage to Miami. So Tommy Heineman right there going straight to the referee. And it's the second time that Tommy Heineman and Mariscal have linked up. Good defensive effort on the far side. And it will still be a throw-in for Miami. No score, 8 minutes into the 8th minute, and good start, though, for San Francisco here at home. But a pass behind Tissot. He's able to recover. And that was a hard tackle on Diego, and it looked like the referee with a very delayed whistle on that foul.
Yeah, that was Lahoud sliding in on the challenge. And the referee letting them play at the moment. There's been definitely a couple of challenges that have warranted his attention. And Diego pleading his case, but a free kick. But the Deltas are finding some avenues to work with, some space to switch the field. Here in the opening 10 minutes, Heineman is calling for it already. He wants the long ball out to the far side. He's got some space to work with just outside the 18-yard box.
Right now, the referee going over to the San Francisco Deltas bench and giving a warning over to Mark Dos Santos and the rest of the coaching staff. And you got to think referee Alessandro Mariscal, as that could have easily been a card on Lahoud.
Well, Heineman gets it where he wants it, but pass just a little too short.
And you got to think the referee knows full well that these teams just played last week, and what happened last week, tempers flaring, 1 red card given, and I wonder if the referees went to the coaches prior to the match to give them a bit of a warning. If not before the match, the referee right there prior to this play speaking to Mark Dos Santos, and we'll see if any yellow cards come soon, if there are any more hard tackles like that one by the captain, Michael Lahoud. For now, no one in the book. Miami on the attack as they look up for Jaime Chavez.
It's closed down well by Hopkins.
And San Francisco earning the throw-in. Look at the line judge there.
And a brief look at Dylan Maras, one of the shrewdest signings, I feel, of the offseason, prying him away for the Indy 11, and he has been a revelation for Miami here in this 2017 campaign.
Tommy Heineman with a nifty keep on the sideline. But Miami FC will control, and Miami FC is certainly known for their possession, as San Francisco, though, on the attack. Heineman for getting the ball behind him, and that offensive opportunity squandered as Heineman maybe a little bit too fast for his own feet.
Well, I think Diego, who had won possession of the ball, should have continued with his dribble. Instead, Heineman was in two minds whether to take possession himself. They crossed each other up, and then Heineman ended up turning it over. What could have been a promising attack for the Deltas, as it was a 2-on-2.
Miami FC have the third fourth and fifth players in the league with the most passes throughout the season, with Trafford, Freeman, and Ryan third, fourth, and fifth, meaning Miami FC controls the ball often, and they will play around as they do right here in the midfield or the backfield. Doesn't necessarily lead to chances, although in Miami's case it does, since they have a plus 20 goal differential on the season. San Francisco, the second-place team in the league, a -1 goal differential. So certainly the tactics of Alessandro Nesta working in the first half. Good intercept by Patrick Hopkins, and he tries to send Diego, but he cannot get to it before Tyler Ruthven, who went to nearby University of San Francisco, was a Don.
Well, the Miami love to play little triangles all over the pitch. We'll see that often tonight, but Hopkins has cut out a couple of incisive through balls, the type that kind of split the Delta's defense like a knife through a birthday cake last week. So it's a promising sign already for the Deltas. It's a scrappier performance than we're used to seeing from them, but they're certainly getting bodies where they need to be so far in the match.
Yeah, Nana Atakora, Patrick Hopkins are going to have to be on their A-plus game to keep Miami from breaking through that defense. And Atakora does lead San Francisco with 71 clears on the season, and he'll need a few more tonight if San Francisco wants to come away with the victory. They try to lead Diego once again, too far for him. And Vega will coolly pass it over to his defense. San Francisco did clinch second place, though, as Jacksonville with the loss earlier today. And so San Francisco, in their first ever season, clinching at least second place in the Spring League. Marc Dos Santos perhaps not as happy after the loss last weekend, but certainly should be commended on his effort in the first ever season for San Francisco.
No question about that, Jason. That is, considering how Miami's spring campaign went last year, where they finished in the cellar, it's a testament to the work that Coach Dos Santos and his staff have done so far. And, you know, last week's results aside, I mean, it's been a very, very positive season for him, especially their record on the road.
San Francisco on the attack. Tissot's cross deflected right into the hands of Vega as Tommy Heineman went jumping through the 6-yard box there, but at least the Deltas have getting some attack here in the early going.
That's a shame, because that was a nice piece of work by Gibson in the corner. The pass to Tissot, who I think quite rightly hit it first time. It took a deflection, but the way the ball caromed would have been very difficult indeed for Heineman to head it. But two players I feel can make a difference in this match, Jason, for the Deltas at least, will be Pablo Diego dropping back into midfield to win possession, and also Tyler Gibson hounding these Miami players all over the pitch.
Well, as Marc Dos Santos has said many times, he does not mind the opposing team playing ticky-tack football back in their own half. Nobody's going to score from midfield or from their own third, so Dos Santos certainly not going to force the issue if the center backs are just going to play catch for 60 minutes of the match. No score here at Kezar Stadium. It's number 1 in the NASL as of now. Miami versus number 2, the Deltas. This is the conclusion of the first half of the season, and the ball up to Heineman did not quite click.
And Miami uncharacteristically are turning over the ball in midfield. That was a good chance there for Tissot to make something happen down the left wing, and just pass the first touch, not particularly good. And you can't afford to make just little errors like that against a team of this quality. But again, Miami give it away.
Tommy Heineman able to get his foot in there. Diego, though, has it stolen away. Miami on the attack, and they'll slow things down. Lahoud for Freeman. Now Lahoud will try the left side. And for San Francisco, it's kind of I would say almost a crapshoot tonight. Some of these players on the Deltas getting their first start in quite a while. Tissot, Hopkins, just to name a couple. You got to think Marc Dos Santos maybe not sure what he's going to get from his players tonight. San Francisco does earn that throw-in, with Miami not quite clicking as they did last week, as they too have made some changes in their lineup.
Yeah, not quite clicking is correct. And one name we haven't called a lot of tonight, and perhaps a player that the Deltas wanted to keep a particularly close eye on, is Richie Ryan. We barely called his name tonight as Stevens makes a run up the right.
Stevens to the right side. Ball through and just tipped over by Vega. As that...
Definitely more of a cross than the shot, but it certainly forced Vega into having to tip that ball up over the crossbar. Now, this is, of course, a point in the match where the Deltas feel like they have the opportunity here from the set piece. Portilla's already had one goal from a corner kick in Olympico this season. What a time it would be for his second here. And you know that Miami have seen this footage in preparation for facing the Deltas.
Can he bend it like Beckham once again? That was Jackson with that cross off the corner. That was headed away quickly. Portilla might have another shot to send this into the box. Ooh. Punched away there by Vega as he collided with Stevens. And now Miami off to the races, going the other way. Poku to the left side. Long-range shot and off the side of the net. And Pecer did not have to make the save, but a good counter by Miami.
A very good counter indeed. And Ranella was, I thought, when he took that shot, that was going in the back of the net. The side netting, though, comes to the rescue, Pecer, but it should be an alarm for the Deltas that Miami are that quick on the counterattack to send it back 80 yards the other direction very quickly indeed. Back at the other end, it was actually Carl Ouimet that was open inside the 6-yard box with a real opportunity to head in on goal. As you take a look there at the setting sun, still very difficult indeed for Juan Pecer.
Yeah, still a little bit a ways from the sun going down behind the trees.
Good matchup here. Jackson Maras out on the right side.
Stevens will slow things down as San Francisco keeping things even with the spring winners, Miami FC, who had just 10 wins last season in their first year of the NASL. Nice ball up. Gibson tries to find Heineman, and Vega coolly able to clear it away. And Tissot with a very physical tackle, and he's getting a talking to by the referee.
High elbow there, but you have to see where he's coming from there, because he's going shoulder to shoulder with the man to try and win the ball. Yeah, he did get the elbow right up around the neck area there, so the referee was right, but tenacity, that was certainly evident.
We'll see that battle of 15s tonight. Tissot, as well as Hunter Freeman at the University of Virginia. Lahoud, such a stalwart in that midfield for Miami. San Francisco will try the counter. Diego, and that was a heavy first touch.
Indeed. Jackson and Stevens were communicating there, and Jackson went back, won the challenge, and then allowed the counterattack along the right side. The heavy touches, though, Jason, have let the Deltas down here in the opening 20 minutes of the match so far.
You could argue San Francisco's had the better opportunities, but they haven't quite been able to take advantage. There was the one shot by Ranella from the left side on the counter, but San Francisco has had the only corner kick so far of the match. And certainly a much more even game than we saw a week ago. And you had to expect Marc Dos Santos was not going to allow his team to get, well, embarrassed once again.
No, and they've kept a much more compact shape. If you look at the back four, the distance between the defenders and the midfield line is very tight indeed until they go over the halfway line.
San Francisco Deltas soccer is brought to you by Espetus, the first authentic Brazilian steakhouse in the Bay Area. Once again, an errant pass by Miami, and San Francisco earning the throw.
Coach Ness has put on a jacket. Gets a little chilly out here in the city this time of evening.
Especially in the summer.
Indeed.
In Miami, well, it's probably in the 90s.
Probably had to dig that out of a hidden closet somewhere, I would think. He doesn't need that too often.
I wish they could wear shorts on the sideline. A little bit of a breeze here at Kezar. Comfortable for those in the Bay Area. It's a heat wave is coming this weekend.
Indeed.
So it was in the low 70s in San Francisco today. In the 80s and 90s, more inland if you want to feel some real summer weather. Pecer, sporting the hat still, clears that out to midfield. Heineman battling with Freeman.
Jackson, a lot of space on the right side.
Portilla did not see him, though. Heineman tried to find Jackson, but an ill-advised pass.
Right to the feet of Maris, too.
Miami controlling Lahoud, but another giveaway. And now Diego, we'll see if he can steady his foot here. Tries the step over, long shot, and that just kind of trickled in on Vega. But San Francisco getting the opportunities as Miami giving up some balls in a dangerous place in the midfield.
And again, Gibson wins possession, finds Diego out to the right side and continued his run. I think he would like to see the ball back into the middle of the pitch a little sooner that time, but another promising possession there from the Deltas.
Sun now covering about half of the pitch. Good play there by Hopkins to head that low ball, looking for Ranella. And San Francisco once again on the attack. Stevens to the right side, sent into the box past everybody, but Tissot will recover for San Francisco. And it'll go back to the midfield, though.
Just a little bit too much weight on that cross. Decent ball in, two men in the box. Chance for Heineman now.
Heineman holding up. Heineman with the left foot tries to flick it in, and it just cleared away by Vega. What a tricky shot by Tommy Heineman with his left foot. And Daniel Vega with the huge dive to keep this a 0-0 game, but it will be a corner for San Francisco.
The best goalkeeper in the NASL as it currently stands. Made a tremendous save there, a reaction save to palm that up and over the crossbar off a tricky shot, like you said, from Tommy Heineman. But the Deltas are very much in this match, Jason.
0.67 goals against average for Vega. Portilla with the left, an outswinger, and that will be a goal kick as Tommy Heineman was the last to touch it. And here's another look at Tommy Heineman's tricky shot.
Lovely turn, first time shot. Yeah, that's a tremendous save. Outstanding from Daniel Vega, the Argentinian, with an outstanding save.
Had to use all 6'2" of his reach to tip that just over the bar. And San Francisco getting mighty close. They have certainly had the opportunities in this first half, look significantly better than their last match against these same Miami FC on the road. And they will once again play them back-to-back in the second half of the season, September 9th and September 16th. So interesting how the schedule played out this season.
Yeah, they play each other 3 times in the fall over a 6-game span. And that is going to make a huge difference towards how this 2017 season will shake out.
They will keep the standings and keep them combined, but they'll also keep track of just the fall season to determine the 4 championship playoff participants. The winner of the spring season will host 1 semifinal. That's Miami FC. The winner of the fall season will host another semifinal. And then the next 2 best teams with their combined spring and fall records will also make it to the championship playoff for the Soccer Bowl as Miami is in on the attack. Chance now, shot tipped away, rebound, score! Miami FC draws first blood as Romuald Peseiro got the first stop, but the rebound banged home by the visitors.
Enzo Ranella, against the run of play, has given Miami FC a 1-goal lead. And just like in the game last week, Miami are excellent at mopping up opportunities missed by the Deltas. Peseiro made the initial save, but tipped it right in front for Ranella to tap home. And it's Richie Ryan with a strong run forward to pass out to the left. There's the initial shot. It's palmed away by Peseiro, and Ranella just gets in front of Mahrez and Tissot to make it 1-0, the Miami FC. And it's very much against the run of play, Jason.
And I think Peseiro, well, he threw his cap into the goal, and I would think he wanted to put that ball in a better place. He kind of just popped it right up and actually bounced in behind him. And perhaps Peseiro was affected by the sun. Right now he is holding his hand up to shield his face from the sun, and he just gave up on the baseball cap. And now Ranella with his team-leading 9th goal of the season. 27th minute for Vincenzo Ranella.
We mentioned earlier how we hadn't called Richie Ryan's name much in the match so far. He made a strong run forward. The Deltas attempted to dispossess him. They were unable to do so, and that's what led to the goal. It's a moment of Richie Ryan magic that Coach Marc Dos Santos was most concerned about in this match.
Offside, though, was Lahoud on that play, and Marc Dos Santos has to be frustrated allowing that first goal after the Deltas had such a good first 25 minutes of the match, had the better opportunities, and then one quick attack, and Miami strikes on the rebound. We'll see how San Francisco responds. They certainly did not respond well last week, and Coach Dos Santos talked about that with the chat we had with him. Thought the team would respond better after allowing the first goal, and, well, the floodgates opened after that, including the Heinar Ferreira red card, which basically put the game completely out of reach.
Talked about how important it was to forget about what has happened last week. You would think that would be extremely difficult to do, considering it's only been 6 days since the teams last met. But now the Deltas have to make sure that they don't forget the positives that they can take away from this match so far, even though they are now trailing by 1-0.
The sun looked like it was about to dip down, but I think it was some clouds, and now the sun has come back even stronger, and Romuald Peseiro is still holding his hand up to his face, and I wonder if the Miami FC players notice this. Maybe try sending a long ball in and catch Peseiro off guard, as he seems to be battling the sun just as much as he's battling the Miami FC attackers. And I wonder if that sun played a role in the initial save that he made. Don't want to make excuses up for him, but I'm just playing the devil's advocate. There he is right there, Peseiro. If only he could wear some sunglasses. That might help his cause, although I don't think that's allowed in the NASL
Probably
rules.
not.
So now Miami can certainly play their game of keep away and not be too concerned about a sense of urgency. Assistant referee Chris Hutchinson directing traffic. Certainly a lot of time, almost 60 minutes left in the match. Delta Force still optimistic for their home team. Alessandro Nesta sporting the sweatshirt. Casual attire for the visiting coach.
Handball there for Jackson.
And that was called by the referee. There's the legend, Alessandro Nesta.
Maras had got in behind Jackson. There was an awful lot of space over there on the left wing in the attacking half of the pitch. And the Deltas just cannot afford to give Miami that much room over the remainder of the match, because you saw how incisive the passing was a week ago.
Deltas have to take the positives from the first 25 minutes and continue to play that way. It was almost a fluke goal, but now Miami with the opportunity on the attack. Good defensive effort by Michael Stevens at the moment. Now a ball into the box will go by everyone, and it will be a goal kick for San Francisco. Whistle blown as the referee talking to Jackson about an earlier play.
We met and Chavez colliding in the penalty area. The referee seemed more concerned with whatever he had to say to Jackson. But that lovely one-touch football, really the first time we've seen it tonight from the Miami FC. And we all know how proficient they are at that so far.
And that's without Stefano Pino, as he is sitting on the bench. Now 1 goal back of his teammate Vincenzo Ranella, the Frenchman who's on loan from Valladolid in the second league in Spain.
Good tackle there by Jackson.
Diego going the other way. He's got Jackson with him on the overlap run. Jackson sends it in the box, and nobody home for San Francisco, as that was over Tommy Heineman's head, who was the only man even close by.
Another promising moment for the Deltas is let down by a heavy cross into the penalty area. Jackson showing why Coach Marc Dos Santos has favored him more right back and as a right defensive midfielder in recent weeks.
Go ahead.
Winning a challenge and then continuing a run downfield.
Behind the play, Portilla and Poku were battling. We'll see if that amounts to anything, but play on, says referee Mariscal. Sun's starting to play a factor for those of us in the booth as well. 10 minutes left of the 45. Portilla will send a long ball into the box looking for Tissot. Tissot with the follow-up. And he will get some help from Gibson. Stevens crossing it over for Jackson. Can't quite handle the high ball. Second effort he does. Looking for Gibson, and it will be defended by Miami FC as the Deltas probing in the attacking third, but not quite getting that final shot off.
It's not happening for the Deltas in the attacking third, as you said. That was a nice sliding challenge, though, by Nana Atakora on Chavez. And that buys the Deltas some time to get back into position. That's a terrible throw in there.
They give the ball right to Tommy Heineman. What will he do with it? For Stevens, tries to chip it over to Gibson. Portilla with the follow-up, but Lahoud helps out Miami, and now they turn and go on the attack. Poku to the right side, and second effort. Good play there by Ouimet on Ranella.
Back at the other end, Portilla was adamant that he was being obstructed there, was chasing after the referee, and Ouimet at the second time of asking there, makes an initial stop there, and then the second effort knocks it away for a corner kick. But the Deltas defenders are scrambling back there, Jason, to keep pace with this Miami front three.
Freeman looks like will take this corner kick, the first of the evening for Miami. Deltas football presented by Espetus, the first authentic Brazilian steakhouse in the Bay Area. Freeman, both hands up. Will swing it outward. And whistle was blown before the corner was even taken. As Mariscal talking to a number of players, and Freeman will basically get a do-over on that one. Breeze picking up now, as you can see the flag, the corner flag blowing. Mariscal continuing to talk to players, and now the referee slowing this game down to a halt.
He was talking to Bernstein initially. Portilla perhaps still not pleased about what happened just a minute ago at the other end of the pitch.
Now I think we are ready for this corner. Freeman directing some traffic. Now once again we'll swing it. It's a low ball, and Tommy Heineman gets his head on it, and now it will just be a throw-in for Miami. And once again, the referee talking to some players. Off the throw-in, Deltas clear the line. And it will be taken by Tyler Ruthven. So the Delta is able to get out of some trouble there. The first corner for Miami, as well as a deep throw-in for the league leaders. And now Miami happy to play around with the ball in the midfield and the backfield before attempting their attack, and a hard tackle, and we're going to get an automatic red card called on Diego. And oh my, it's just like last weekend all over again, and this has just completely changed the complexion of this match.
Diego looks shocked. Let's wait to see the replay to see what happened here. It looked like it was Richie Ryan that was on the other end of the challenge. The Miami FC training staff on quickly to tend to him, and the referee brings out the red card. Right in front of the referee, stepped on his foot. Challenge from the side.
I mean,
a clumsy challenge, certainly. A painful challenge for Richie Ryan, sure.
But a red card?
But
this early in the match?
But, Jason, you're right. This now changes the complexion of the game. Once again, the Deltas were down already a man at the 35-minute mark last week. They're now down a man in the 40th minute of the match. And their chances at mounting a comeback in this game have taken a significant hit, and Pablo Diego, as he heads off, seems to be very upset indeed. And you have to think that there was no malicious intent on that tackle. Late, yes. Clumsy, yes. But Marc Dos Santos and staff not pleased.
50 minutes of playing time remaining. And once again, the San Francisco Deltas are handed a straight red card. And there's Marc Dos Santos. Shocked, disappointed, perhaps livid. And Richie Ryan, of course, did get the brunt of that, but there's Marc Dos Santos. I was expecting to see him run onto the pitch in protest, but he resisted.
In the meantime, Ryan appears to be okay as he walks it off. The referee will now come over to the sideline. And is he bringing out another card to one of the staff here? And a red card is being shown again.
It looks like it's to the bench. But that should not result in a loss of a player.
That's Becker's been red carded. Kyle Becker has been sent off from the bench. And now the Deltas really have to compose themselves because they've now had 2 players sent off. Well, 1 player sent off and 1 player ejected from the bench, but they have to keep their composure now, Jason. Just down a goal, but we know how quickly Miami can open up this game.
But only 1 player. They're down to 10 men.
Right.
Let's clarify. Even though Kyle Becker is no longer eligible to play, San Francisco down to 10 men, and with more than half the match remaining, you got to think this game potentially could get ugly with the tempers that are flaring right now, especially coming from the San Francisco Deltas side, including the bench.
Well, it's all composure now, Jason. And Gibson goes in for a challenge there. The referee says play on, and now Tissot at the other end.
Tissot looking for Heineman, but he can't find him. Players were back for Miami. That is not something I have seen very often, a player on the bench getting a red card. I've seen coaches get kicked out, but I've almost never seen a player get thrown out while on the bench. Tissot sends the ball into the box. Heineman's there. He flicks it with his head, but it just goes wide. But Vega able to pick it up, and now you got to think the Deltas will need to have a gutsy effort here to come back, and Marc Dos Santos shouting at his players, probably to give them some sort of encouragement when they could be completely discouraged down a man against a team that beat them 7-0 just a week ago.
Not to mention now their best player will not play any role in the match as he is joining Diego in the dressing room. A wild couple of minutes here at Kezar.
Well, we talked about the referee playing a role in the match last week, and, well, Alejandro Mariscal has certainly stamped his name on this match this week.
And it's just interesting, too, because he was willing to let them play despite there being a couple of chippy moments in the first 40 minutes, but that straight red shown to Diego has now completely changed the complexity of this match. And you said it perfectly. It now will require a superhuman effort for the Deltas not only to draw level, but to even try to take the lead from here.
1 minute of added time, but Miami keeps giving the ball away at midfield. If the Deltas could just take advantage, at least one of these opportunities.
Well, this is a good one here. A quick throw taken by Tissot.
Tissot looked to throw it quickly, able to find Stevens. Now back for We Met, and that offensive counter slowed down for San Francisco.
Good ball, Adekora.
Nice ball there for Tissot. He'll send it into the box, and draws a corner kick for the Deltas, and this is really going to be their key opportunities, these set pieces from in close.
Indeed, and Adekora with a tremendous through ball now will come forward for the corner kick.
Delta Force starting up the I believe that we will win chant. Portilla will swing this outward. Off the corner, goes up in the air, punched away. And that will do it for the first half. A chippy one indeed, with Miami FC taking the 1-0 lead. And on top of that, Pablo Diego given a straight red card in the 40th minute as Adekora down. And now Marc Dos Santos trying to get Maxime Tissot, separate him from the assistant referees. And what an entertaining first half in some sense of the word.
Low loss for words at the moment, Jason. Let's regroup here at the half, and we'll come back to analyze what went on a topsy-turvy first half. The Deltas really in the ascendancy for the first 30 minutes, but it unraveled quickly, and now the Deltas have a monumental task to try and keep Miami FC at bay here over the second 45.
Soccer can't work in the U.S. That's what people say. They say it's slow, they say it's boring. You can't get Americans to care. Don't naysayers realize that these words are what fuel the risk takers, the agents for change? San Francisco was founded by these risk takers. From the gold rush to civil rights movements, technology, innovation, people from all over the world come here because of this. Delta literally means change. You see it everywhere. It's all around us. Soccer, football, futebol. The name doesn't matter. Us fans are the most die-hard loyal on the planet. The game makes us yell, it makes us laugh, it makes us cry. It is the biggest sport in the world, and the best is we're going to live it here. San Francisco Deltas. We're focused on finding the right players, on finding the right coach, focused on bringing together a championship team. Get ready. We're going to take risks on and off the field. Change is coming, and it's exciting. You'll know more, see more, feel more. Things of dreams will now be reality. To the naysayers, thank you. Thank you for fueling us to accomplish the impossible. This is for us, our children, our grandchildren. Yes, we know the risk, but we also know the reward.
I was just dreaming, right? I knew it made a ton of sense, but at the time I was just dreaming. Pelé played here, Zico played here. It was the original home of the 49ers.
Beautiful pitch, best natural grass field in San Francisco, maybe in all of the area.
You have like the beautiful scene, like as sunset comes down. Teams from other parts of the country are going to just be like, what the heck is going on? And it's a great atmosphere, it's a great place to watch a game.
A lot of excitement, especially with a small city like San Francisco. It'll be great to watch games there. I think it'll bring a lot of people together.
I also grew up 7 blocks from Kezar, so it's definitely very gratifying that they're going to be playing in my old neighborhood.
An iconic venue that's really begged for someone to restore it to its grandeur.
Having the Deltas be here at Kezar Stadium in San Francisco is just a furthering of that mission, of that opportunity to bring people together through soccer.
Welcome back to Kezar Stadium. At halftime, Miami FC with the 1-0 lead over the San Francisco Deltas, and we now have a special on-field game.
Let's make a deal.
Maybe they can make a deal to get Pablo Diego back in the match.
$500.
Hey yo, Kezar! All right, guys. So I have a favor to ask of everybody here. I love the Deltas. You love the Deltas. But the reality is that a lot of people who live in San Francisco don't know that we exist. So on the count of 3, we are going to fix that. I want them to hear us out at Ocean Beach. I want them to hear us in the marina. I want them to hear us in the Mission. You have to get as loud as you possibly can on the count of 3. I think you guys can do this. Let's let the city know that the San Francisco Deltas are here. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3! You got to bring that into the second half. We are down a man, but we are not out of this game, so you got to bring that energy with us. So this is the halftime competition. We have our fans of the match here who have these funny hats. You may have seen them on the concourse. One of them will have the chance to win $500. Come on. Each of them will kick a ball. Whoever gets it closest to the center of the field, where we have Matt Horowitz standing there. Come on, do a little dance. Woo! We'll have the chance to win $500. So up first we have...
My name is Melissa and I'm from Fresno, California!
Let's hear it for the no! All right! So you're from Fresno. Who are you here with today?
I'm with all my fiance, my friends, their kids, everyone.
Hi guys! That is awesome. And what brought you out to the Deltas game?
Oh, big soccer fans and love the venue and the Deltas. I mean, you can't beat this.
Awesome. So this is Let's Make a Deal. So we like to spice it up. All right? So what we're going to introduce are these Let's Make a Deal buckets designed and handcrafted by our stadium operations team. And one of them is a prize about $10 of value, and the other is a prize full of merchandise from our official team store, located behind sections H and sections K. A lot closer, but you are almost guaranteed to forfeit your chance for the $500. Should she go for a bucket or the midline, guys? I think they're saying midline. What are you going to do?
We're going for $500!
Woo! All right. Can we hear it for Melissa? Let's go! That was pretty good. I don't know. Wow, that was awesome. All right, who do we have up next? All right, up next we have...
My name's Patrick, and I'm from San Francisco.
All right, we got Patrick from San Francisco. Patrick brought out the whole family. So Patrick, are you going to go for one of the buckets, or are you going to go for the midline?
Midline.
All right, let's see. Come on, Patrick. Let's hear it for Patrick. What a kick! Oh! I think Melissa's got you beat there, bud. Good stuff, though. Congratulations. All right, up next we have...
Jeremy.
We've got Jeremy. And Jeremy, where are you from?
France.
Jeremy from France. You live in San Francisco?
Yes, I do.
Who are you here with today?
The Deltas fan.
All right. And what brings you out to the Deltas game?
Soccer.
I love that. So, she's pretty close to the midline. You've got some guaranteed prizes here. I will move the buckets in a little bit closer. Just a little bit closer. There's a guaranteed prize in one of these of all the merchandise. So there's a blanket, scarf, hat, you name it. What are you going to do?
I'll go for the halfway line.
He's going to go for the halfway line. All right, let's see what he's got. Can we hear it for Jeremy? All right, Melissa, you are the winner. Come on, Melissa. Melissa's got the chance to win $500. It's not going to be easy, though, Melissa. You got to earn it. So Melissa has to hit the crossbar. She's got 3 chances. The crossbar is what goes from all the way across the goal. That bar right there, the white one that goes all the way across the goal, is the crossbar. She has to hit it. She's got 3 chances. That will be hers if she can do it. Do you guys think she can do it? All right, Melissa. tickets for each of you. I'll give those to you in just a second. I want to thank all of you guys. Like I said, please help us spread the word about the Deltas. Get your phones out, take photos, share them on social media, tell your friends. Thank you very, very much. Also, I've got the away kit on. It is 15% off for today only at the official team store. Thank you. Go Deltas.
Fans, don't forget to check out the Core Hydration booth in the northwest corner, next to the medical tent.
Back live at Kezar Stadium and so close to that crossbar.
They're getting closer every week. I feel by the time they play the Cosmos, we'll have a winner.
I like that prediction, but right now let's take a look back at the first half highlights, and well, it was an entertaining one. There was some highlights, some lowlights, and certainly an interesting end to the half.
That was that great work by Gibson over in the corner. Found Tissot, hit that cross in first time. Jackson found room to work with on the right side, and that cross-come shot there troubled Vega into tipping that up over the crossbar. Good effort there with that bullet into the box. We met just a little late there on his header. That shot from Ranella into the side netting, a let off there for Payzet. Back at the other end, Heineman with the best chance for the Deltas in the game, forcing Vega into another strong save, tipping that over the crossbar. And here's a look now at the goal. Yeah, he's looking right into the sun. You called that well there, Jason. That shot from Chavez, and then Ranella there to put in the rebound we saw last week. Here's the red card. A little late there on the camera work as we see. We saw that replay 3 or 4 times, though, during the game itself, and a straight red card. Just don't know about that. Becker also issued a red card. Chance for Heineman late on there, but there's no way he's going to turn his body perpendicular to the goal to head down with any sort of power to trouble Vega to that far corner. And then a last chance there, Heineman. They're almost trying to do the hand of God there for a moment. Portier with a corner kick here to the back post. And that will bounce off of Rhett Bernstein. And this is a counterattack here. And this is, excuse me, wrong corner kick there, but that one cleared away by Miami. So chances for the Deltas in the first half, Jason, but their opportunities now in the match will surely be dashed with both Pablo Diego and Kyle Becker playing no further part in the match. Becker, of course, was on the substitutes bench, and he will be unable to participate in the second half. So the Deltas now, Jason, have had 3 red cards in the last 2 matches. Ferreira, Becker, and Diego. And the Deltas, for the second game in a row against Miami FC, down to 10 men.
And in the first half, shots on target for San Francisco 3, and for Miami was 2. 3 corners for San Francisco, 1 for Miami. So possession was not surprising, 73% for Miami, 27% for San Francisco. The stat sheet does not look that bad for San Francisco, but Miami took advantage of the one opportunity, and the sun may have played a role in that. And then subsequently, the red card. It's really going to change things, and you wonder what Coach Marc Dos Santos said to his players in the locker room. He's got to be frustrated, furious. He went from frustrated after the goal to probably, I would say, furious after the red card. And all of a sudden, he loses 2 of his best attackers. What does he say to his players to get them going? They are only down by 1 goal.
They are only down by a goal, but we know how dangerous Miami FC can be. They haven't perhaps shown the sort of panache that we saw a week ago when they absolutely sliced apart the Deltas' defense. Their man marking has been a lot better in this match, as is their shape defensively, but Miami at any given moment on the pitch can score goals. And although I'd be surprised to see Pino with 45 minutes to play in this match, the Miami FC have so much talent, not only on the field but on the bench as well, that it's going to be very difficult indeed now for the Deltas to get back on level terms.
The sun is setting just in time for Daniel Vega and Miami FC for the second half. Almost a home field disadvantage for San Francisco, at least for the goalkeeper. But, of course, future games are moving up to 5 p.m., and that certainly could help out specifically Romuald Peseiro when he is in goal for those matches.
Beginning with the match against the Cosmos on the 5th of August as we begin the fall championship here at Kezar Stadium. All kickoffs will be at 5 o'clock, except I believe, I don't know, we'll have to check. They do play Indy 11 on a Wednesday night. I'm not sure if that's a 5 o'clock or a 7 o'clock kickoff yet. But the Deltas are ready to go here in the second half. Just briefly, Jason, while we have a moment, around the NASL today with a full complement of matches. The Indy 11 continue their hot streak here in the summer as they win 2-0 over Jacksonville Armada. Vukovic and Henderson with the goals for Tim Hankinson's team. North Carolina, last-ditch victory over Puerto Rico as Matt Fondy with a penalty in injury time to give him a 2-1 victory over Puerto Rico. Lance Lang with the other goal there. And in the first half, Edmonton and the Cosmos tied 0-0.
So that's your update on the out-of-town scoreboard. The updated standings.
Actually, I tell a lie. The Cosmos won 1-0. Sorry, it was
updated.
Yeah,
there
and
we
it was
go.
Eric Calvillo with the goal for the Cosmos in the 79th minute. So it's definitely turning into a 6-team race now in the NASL. And the Deltas, the Cosmos, Jacksonville, the Oaks, and the Indy 11 are all competing now for those 3 remaining spots. It's going to be an intriguing fall campaign here in the NASL here in 2017.
And we are just about set for the second half. Ranello will start things off for Miami FC. The one bright side to Pablo Diego getting the red card is it was an attacker, so Marc Dos Santos did not have to make any substitutions if, say, it was a defender or a midfielder getting sent off. So no substitutions had to be made by Coach Marc Dos Santos. He still has his full complement of substitutions of 3, but nonetheless, it does not help him the fact that the Deltas are down a man to the best team in the NASL.
That's very true indeed, and it's really a shame that Diego's participation in the match is over, and I'm sure it's going to be a point to complain against here after this match concludes.
Possession was over 72% for Miami when they were playing 11v11. Can the possession get any higher than 72%? I would not be surprised if it did here in this second half, because Miami FC, not only are they up a man, they're also up a goal. So they really do not need to force the issue at all. And they will just continue to probe in the midfield until they have some clear-cut opportunity, and that time it was Blake Smith working up the left side, drawing the throw-in, and you got to think that Miami is going to be as patient as humanly possible in a competitive soccer match for this half.
But at any time, that mood could change. When you're the best team in the league, by some margin at this point, you can really dictate the way you want to play and also how your opponent reacts.
And then the question is on the opposite side, as Jackson almost made a perfect pass for Miami into the box, but it was cleared away. At what point does Marc Dos Santos tell Tommy Heineman, tell his other attacking midfielders, you do need to start pressing. You are down by a goal. You are trailing. You need to make something happen. Otherwise, Miami will just pass the ball around in their own half for the entire half, second half. And this is really the second attacking play by Miami, and they will earn another throw-in. That was Blake Smith on the left side in the opening 2.5 minutes.
Well, we talked about Diego being an attacking option, of course, for Marc Dos Santos, but we've seen him time and time again this season drop back into midfield, drop back into the defensive third of the field to win the ball. If necessary, flags down.
Flags down, onside, man. Taken out was Ranella. And the referee
He could issue a red card. Well, let's see.
Did he call a penalty or did he call a goal kick? What? I can't tell what the referee.
Payzet definitely caught him as he went by. I thought he did point to the spot. But Payzet now could definitely, at the very least, garner a yellow card here. He was the last man. Referee's going to call him aside.
Sorry, I thought I heard replay. Are we going to do one or should I bring it back up?
And it is a yellow card.
Well,
that Mariscal is pulling out, and that means it will be a penalty for Miami.
A disastrous start to the second half for the Deltas now. Not even 3.5 minutes into the half. And Payzet takes down Ranella. It's a great ball forward here from Freeman over the top. Ranella is onside. The flag stays down. Tissot gives chase. Boy, I don't know. Payzet, let's see that again because the contact was minimal at best there with his foot. Payzet knows as soon as he sees the referee's reaction. The ball over the top. Great first touch there by Ranella. Boy, I don't know if he caught him. Let's see it again.
Well, it will be a penalty right now, and Ranella will take the kick, looking for his 10th goal of the season. Left-footed.
Well, if Payzet can stop this shot, he's already saved one penalty this year from Jairo Puerto in the game against Puerto Rico. Can he make it 2 consecutive penalties saved?
Ranella lining up, players also lining up in case there's a rebound. Ranella steps up, left-footed, slides it home. It's 2-0 Miami.
Payzet guessed the right way, but a sweetly positioned penalty from Ranella. 2 goals. Vincenzo Ranella in the match. And Miami FC on their way to 3 more points.
One thing we could not see from the camera angle was whether that ball was in fact onside. Every San Francisco Delta player's back threw up their hands saying it was. Granted, we don't know if it was. We don't have the right camera angle, but it stayed, the flag stayed down. And now the Deltas have quite the mountain to climb, trailing 2-0 and down a man.
So yeah, like you said, I mean, but he's 10 feet in front of the defenders there. I mean, you'd have to see that from a different angle, but
so the Deltas trailing 2-0 at home to Miami.
So not on the same page that time. And now a chance for Miami to break with Poku.
And now you got to see, can the Delta's defense fend off this attack by Miami? But you got to think San Francisco will have to play cautiously against Miami. They had to play cautiously regardless, and now trailing a man, but trailing by 2 goals.
Well, if there's a positive from that, is that Payzet didn't get sent off. As the last man, the referee could have easily decided that the goalkeeper could also join Diego and Becker in the locker room. But it's just a yellow card that time.
So the Deltas red carded twice. One player, though, on the bench. And Romuald Pecer getting the yellow card as well, with Ranella, who, well, we'll see if we have another. We've been told we have another angle. We might be able to see if he was, in fact, onside for that play that drew the penalty, as Vincenzo Ranella is just steaming ahead of his teammate Stefano Pino, now with 10 goals on the season. And you got to think his teammates will be perhaps feeding for him for the hat trick. But right now, well, it is they are on the attack once again. Chavez, as Lahoud will send it back to his defense. And really, the Miami FC are just, I don't want to say toying with the Deltas, but they're playing keep away until they have an opening, as they do now. Smith, his cross goes back to the far post, and now Lahoud with a chance to wind and fire sends it into the box, and whistle is blown by the referee, and another yellow card has been issued, this time to Jackson. Not sure what for.
And not only that, but a free kick given on the edge of the 18-yard box as well.
It must have been after Smith released the cross. Jackson must have come in late. And the referee, Alejandro Mariscal, getting card happy.
And at this point of this match, in the last 7 days for the Deltas, you just have to be in slight disbelief right now about how they could not have imagined in their wildest dreams this is how these two games would have worked out.
And once again, Mariscal still talking to a couple of Deltas players who are forming the wall.
Now someone's going down inside, and now we got pushing and shoving. Adekora shoved a Miami player. He shoved Chavez.
And now we're going to see some more cards.
And if the captain can't keep his composure right now, then the Deltas are in a world of trouble, Jason. They really, really have to be careful now.
All the cards have been given to the Deltas so far, and now we're going to get another card, and this time it will be to, it looks like it will be to Jaime Chavez, and the first yellow card to Miami.
The usual jostling inside. Oh, there it is. It pushed on Chavez, and that was kind of out of our line of sight, and I think that was that was pushed.
Yellow card issued, Miami FC, number 9, Jaime Chavez. Card issued in the 56th minute.
This game is, well, I'd hate to say starting to get out of hand, but it could get even worse. Free kick for Miami, still to come in a dangerous spot. They'll swing it inward, back post, score! Miami FC takes a 3-0 lead on the header by Kwadwo Poku.
And with so many weapons on the field, Jason, it's just hard to keep track of where everyone is at a particular moment. Poku is unmarked. A powerful header past Pezer. No chance to stop that one. And the rout is on once again as Miami now lead by 3.
Fourth goal of the season for Poku. And it's starting to get ugly here at Kezar. Nothing Romuald Pezer could do with that one.
A little delay on the set piece. A beautiful ball into the box. Poku at the back post. Heads it home. Miami FC have the Deltas number and then some.
They have outscored them in the last match and a little more than a half. 10-0. San Francisco with a rare attack, and that cross by Tiso goes nowhere. It will be a throw-in for Miami, and here's a replay of the goal.
Poku's on the right of our screen, breaks away from the player. Portilla doesn't pick him up, and he heads home for the third goal of the day.
And now the question is, will the Deltas try to attack and get something on the board or sit back? And right now they are on the attack. Tiso, long-range shot, and that will miss the mark wide. And the sun has completely gone down, so no sun issues for Vega. Here's another replay from behind, and, well, further shows how open Poku was. Probably one of his easier goals he's scored in his career.
You know what else it says, though, Jason, is just how in tune this team is right now with each other. It's eerie how good this team can be when they want to, but also just how they know how to be in the right place at the right time, as Poku was there.
They try to find Ranella once again. Atakora there, and contrasting Miami, the Deltas right now are, well, all out of sorts. Heineman, though, on the attack. Heineman with the steal. Heineman shot, and that was cleared away at the last moment by Tyler Ruthven. And the Deltas earning themselves a corner. At least they're putting up a fight, trailing 3-0 and down to 10 men.
A rare lucky break for the Deltas, and Heineman almost made them pay that time, but Ruthven, hustling back, was able to get a foot in and knock it out for a corner kick.
Portilla now with the corner, goes to the back post. It will be taken there by Stevens, and whistle blown on a foul called against the Deltas, and all for naught on that offensive opportunity. San Francisco Deltas are presented by Espetus, the first authentic Brazilian steakhouse in the Bay Area. And Dos Santos still standing on the sideline.
Michel ready to come in here for Miami FC. Richie Ryan will take a seat.
He's the one who drew the red card on Pablo Diego at the end of the first half, which completely changed the tone of this game. And perhaps not, things could have been much different here in the 60th minute, rather than the Deltas trailing 3-0 down to 10 men, but at least still putting up a fight as they've had some opportunities down the man, and Tommy Heineman really is going to be the guy who's going to have to get things going for San Francisco up front. He is still hustling as well as Michael Stevens, but it's a tall mountain to climb, trailing 3-0 and to the best team in the NASL.
Ranella almost timed another run behind the Deltas defense that to perfection.
Ranella looking for the hat trick, as he is the league leader in goals right now with 10, 2 ahead of his teammate Pinot, who's been, well, just watching from the sideline.
Heineman did well there to turn through 3 defenders and still maintain possession.
Tissot will look into the box and cleared away by Rhett Bernstein out of Brown University. Tissot with the follow-up. Hounded there by the latest goal scorer, Poku, into the box for Jackson. Ball is still free, and it will be cleared away by Dylan Maris. Long ball up ahead for Ranella, but it will get to Romuald Pecer. Got to feel bad for Pecer. He's had penalties scored against him. Back post, he had no shot. I think he would have liked that first one back and may have been affected by the sun on the initial stop, which he did not clear from his lines far enough. Jackson, good steal. Will he look for the long-range shot? Tries to lift it up for Stevens, or rather for Gibson. Looked like he fanned on that a little bit as he was trying to chip it over to Gibson.
Just a goal for the Deltas right now would be a moral victory. The team has taken their lumps over the last week or so, to be sure.
Certainly not a fun way to end the spring season. The good thing is they will basically have a reset for the fall. And the standings, if you click on the fall standings, will start back at 0. But as we mentioned, they will combine the fall and the spring standings to see who can get into the championship playoff at the end of the season. And that's where it really all matters, to go for the Soccer Bowl. And we are a long ways away from that playoff.
Deltas will open their fall campaign with a couple of particularly tough matches on the road at Jacksonville, and then they'll host the Cosmos for the second and final time here at home. And those are two teams that are very much in the playoff hunt.
Lost and won against Jacksonville.
We were both here for that 3-0 loss coming off the 3 games in 6 days. Zach Steinberger had his way that day with a brace. Derek Gebhard with a goal as well.
And just like that, it's Ranella tonight with his brace. Miami probing, looking for that opening. Ranella looking for it on the near side. Chavez also making his runs. They try to find him there. Heineman briefly with the steal, gets some help from Stevens. And can the Deltas get something going on the attack? They only have one attacker out there, Tommy Heineman, since Pablo Diego was given the red card late in the first half. Marc Dos Santos has not used any of his substitutions yet. He still has his 3 at his disposal.
See Sandoval and Danny Cruz are both warming up over on the end line.
Jackson cuts to the middle with a chance. Jackson just ridden off the ball as there were 3 players on him. Whistle blown, and I think they're just blowing because of the collision, or are they actually calling the foul?
I would have thought they called a foul because Jackson was clearly bundled off the ball. A hefty shoulder charge as well, but it seemed like the follow-through knocked him not only off his stride, but out of possession as well. Let's see.
Freeman with that collision. I mean, he was completely surrounded, but he did take a big tumble there, courtesy of Freeman. It was outside the box, though, but it would be a dangerous spot.
Portia's holding the ball, so I would assume it's a free kick to the Deltas. But I mean, this is inside the semicircle here where this foul was given. Very difficult angle to get this up and over the wall.
Only probably a few men can do that, like the likes of Lionel Messi, but you got to think it will be, looks like Portilla, Tissot, and Tommy Heineman are both stepping over it, but Heineman and Portilla discussing things. Tissot in there as well. Michael Stevens also hovering over the ball as Tissot now walks away. Will there be some trickery, or will it just a straight up and down for Portilla or Heineman? Stevens starting to walk away as well. Portilla tries the low shot and it hits the wall. And it will be a throw-in for San Francisco. Tried the old Cristiano Ronaldo strategy of trying to blast it low, but did not work out for Portilla.
All 10 men there, Linus Stern for Miami FC.
But good to see San Francisco on the attack here, trailing 3-0 and down to 10 men. Jackson, across in, deflected shot, stopped off the post is Tommy Heineman with a beautiful deflection. And Daniel Vega getting some help from the post.
If there's a particular run of play that sums up the Deltas' recent run of luck, that would be it, Jason. A wonderful low ball in from Jackson. Heineman with a flick. Now there's a header on, that's wide, but how close are the Deltas at putting that in the back of the net and making it 3-1 and at least giving the fans here at Kezar a glimmer of hope. Look at this ball in from Jackson, flicked by Heineman. And it even came off the underside of Vega's body and it still didn't go in. And then Freeman swipes it away off the line. Unbelievable stuff.
Good attempt by the Deltas, and Tommy Heineman still working as hard as ever out there. And Marc Dos Santos has to be happy with what he's seeing from his leading scorer, Tommy Heineman, and the rest of his club, really, despite the tempers boiling over a bit. Jackson with a nice move. Jackson outside the box tries to send it back in, and he'll earn himself a throw-in as the Deltas now putting on the pressure on the spring champions. Seeing if they can get one by Vega, and they earn themselves another throw-in as the Deltas here in the 69th minute trying to get one, as we're going to get another substitution for Miami.
Cuban Massey's coming on. Ariel Martinez
coming on for Poku. And certainly a good story for Martinez, as he defected from Cuba July 17th, 2015, when his Cuban national team was here for the CONCACAF Gold Cup. Ended up running off into the middle of the night, never to be seen again, except now he's with Miami FC, as another corner kick is earned by the Deltas as they are in full hurry-up mode in the 69th minute.
That was given away by Miami.
Portilla will get to swing this inward. It's a low one through everybody, and it just was cleared at the line, and that looked like that was going into the goal.
And that was Ranella that prevented that from going in. That could have been another Olympico there for Portilla, this time in swinging to the near post. They have another corner now. Stevens is going to take this one.
He'll see if he can swing it inward to the goal, and so many players are lined up in the front post. It's a low ball, and that is headed away before it even got to the near post. Deltas still battling in the 18-yard box. Atakora will get to it, but only momentarily, as Miami gets that ball out of danger. But the Deltas in the last 5 minutes have really put the heat on Miami.
And you wonder just how different of a game this might have been right now. If Kyle Beck had come in off the bench at halftime, if Diego was still on the pitch as well.
But the game was completely changed in the final minutes of the first half on the red card. And here's Portilla's opportunity once again.
Yeah, it's Ranella clearing it off the line. And to use an old favorite saying of mine, it's a funny old game, isn't it?
Yes.
Not my own saying, but I like saying it. Luban has come in. So the Deltas have made their first substitution. Looks like perhaps for Tissot. I don't see Tissot out there right now, so Luban is taking over in the left midfield position. So fresh legs here for the Deltas.
Stevens sends it over, now back into the box. Heinemann scores! Tommy Heinemann gets one back for San Francisco, down 10 men.
Luban has only been on the pitch for 30 seconds, but he delivers a peach of a cross, and Heinemann is there to head it home. The Deltas have a glimmer of hope, and they're back in the match, down by 2.
Tommy Heinemann absolutely pumped, scoring his team-leading 5th of the season in the 71st minute, and the Kezar crowd's going wild.
This is the sort of cross that they did not get from Tissot early, and Luban on his first opportunity puts it right where it needed to be, and Heinemann heads it home to make it 3-1.
What a heads-up substitution by Mark Dos Santos.
Brilliant tactical move.
What other tricks does he have up his sleeve? And now Miami, will they start to panic, or will they go back into settle-down mode and play keep away in their own half? So the Delta's pressure finally pays off, as they had mounted all the opportunities, goal line saves, posts, hit, and then finally Luban to Tommy Heinemann. And the Deltas have given their fans something to cheer about and given themselves some hope, trailing by 2 with less than 20 minutes to go. But they try the through ball in, and offside, though, was Chavez. And the flag came up this time.
To the Deltas' credit, Miami toyed with them a little bit over that last 10 minutes or so. Perhaps let them more into the game than they needed to be, and the Deltas are rewarded with a goal. 2 more might be a bit of an ask here, Jason, but that has to feel good for the Deltas, the way their luck has gone over the last week.
Well, that free kick taken by Pecer all the way to Daniel Vega, and now Vega will just wait for Heineman to finally approach him, kill some time. Deltas certainly are putting on extra pressure on the back line than they were in the beginning of the second half, and clearly Coach Dos Santos said, all right, we got to go for this. We can't just sit back and let them keep away in their own half.
But again, that threat is always looming from Miami FC at any time. With any of these players capable, playing an outstanding pass forward. It's always in the back of the mind of these Deltas players at the moment.
Ranella just kind of waiting here on the near side, trying to almost stay away from everyone so they almost forget about him. It's hard to forget about the man who's scored 10 goals this season in 16 matches.
But again, they put Vega under unnecessary pressure there, slices his clearance, and now the Deltas have thrown inside the attacking third.
Can Portilla set something up? They do get the throw-in, though. Portilla leads the team with 21 chances created this season. Can he create another one? He'll send it back, though, to his captain, Atakora. 2 substitutions remaining for Dos Santos. Still has Devin Sandoval, Danny Cruz as potential attacking players.
And we've seen Sandoval come off the bench this season against the Indy 11 when they were down 2-0. Portilla's Olympico, and then Sandoval's late header to tie it up at 2 in injury time. Could lightning strike twice for the man from New Mexico.
Miami has certainly settled down after the goal by San Francisco. The Deltas will have to continue to put on pressure if they want to try to get a second one. Miami certainly being a little bit more careful with their passes as they continue to mount up those passes as they've done all season long. Possession perhaps not quite as high as it was in the first half, with San Francisco having those few moments, but now on the attack is Miami. They try to find Chavez. Try the give and go. Chavez pushed down, and Pecer gets to it, and no way the referee is going to call that one.
That all started back with a head fake by Martinez, throwing off his mark. It allowed him to make that strong dribble into the attacking third. And a bit of a lucky break there for the Deltas, but again, it just shows how quickly Miami FC can turn this game if they want to.
San Francisco now with some rare possession. What can they do with it? Tommy Heineman calling for it, as he is right near the back line of Miami. Pecer, though, will just have to clear it out to midfield, and Miami FC will take possession once again.
Greg Jordan, I believe Jason is going to come on here for the Deltas in due course. Looks like he's ready to go here.
Greg Jordan out of Naperville, Illinois. Looks like we'll be coming in for Tyler Gibson at the next stoppage.
Jordan's going to be making his 4th appearance of the season. So he'll get some useful minutes here at the tail end of this one.
Well, the last substitution proved effective with Andrew Luban coming in, and less than a minute later providing the setup for Tommy Heineman, who comes racing after this one. He will not get to it, though, before Tyler Ruthven. Jordan anxiously awaiting But Miami FC may just play keep away for the final 12 minutes of the match. Deltas got one back from Tommy Heineman, as Vincenzo Ranella scored 2 and Poku scored the third. 1 coming in the first half, 2 in the second half, with Miami now on the attack once again. Ball into the box. Jackson will let that go through. Ranella will as well. Blake Smith now crosses. And the Deltas will clear the lines.
Heineman was so close to a second goal. We've forgotten all the mayhem in that couple of minutes stretch that Heineman almost had a goal a couple minutes prior to that.
And now Lubon with another move. Lubon's got Heineman going to the box, looking for him. It goes back to Jackson, but he can't quite reach him as Andrew Lubon with a nice move up the left sideline.
He's getting the crowd excited as Lubon since he's come on. Just wanted that little better ball into the box that time.
And that's where it would certainly help to have another attacker available, but it was really only Tommy Heineman in the box, and then Jackson, the late man, they were looking for him. There were 5 or 6 Miami FC players already back, and they were able to strike once just a few minutes ago. Now they lifted up ahead for Ranella. He'll try to chase it down, too far for him, and it will be a Delta's throw-in, but now the change is on. Greg Jordan coming in for Tyler Gibson.
Gibbs has had another impressive stint in midfield for the Deltas for Coach Mark Dos Santos, and now Jordan will show what he can do in the final 10 minutes of the match. Well, we have another inspired substitution here for Coach Dos Santos and his team.
Tommy Heineman grabbing some water from the coaching staff as Jackson looking for this throw-in. San Francisco Deltas, presented by Espetus, first authentic Brazilian steakhouse in the Bay Area. 10 minutes left of the 90. Can the Deltas create something more against Miami FC? Smith. Tried to find Dylan Maris, went out for a throw-in. And the Deltas are going to really have to step up the pressure, or Miami will just pass this ball around for the next 10 minutes. An errant pass there, almost taken away by Portilla.
Stevens going 2 minds there.
Maris. Lahoud. Martinez, Lahoud, as Miami now just probing outside the box. And will the Deltas step up to try to get this ball away, or will they continue to just hope a pass comes in their direction that they can pick off?
Sandoval's going to come in now, and Mason Trafford for Miami FC.
Smith into the box, headed away. Deltas will get to it. Now they get some possession. What will they do with it? Lubon up for Heineman, but defended there by Bernstein.
So you think Sandoval's going to come in here for Heineman, who's got to be gassed at this point.
That's a double-digit number he's coming in for.
Are they going to, let's see which substitution they make first.
But it's Miami FC just controlling this ball and eating away at the time. Less than 8 minutes remaining. Deltas need some possession if they're going to have any chance at least getting one more. Jackson pushed down, tried to draw the foul. Play continues. Ranella for Smith.
It is Heineman's coming out for Sandoval.
And it's almost in the best interest for the Deltas to let Miami attack so they can at least have a chance to get the ball back as they do now. But instead they just clear it back to midfield. But they give it away. What can the Deltas do with it? Portilla turns. Finds Heineman. Will that be his last touch of the match?
I'd like to see Jordan push up a little bit more. He's too close to the midfielders for my liking right now. Now he makes a run forward. Nice ball.
Deltas on the attack. Try to find Jordan. Jackson with the follow-up. Overlapping run by Stevens. And back to midfield for San Francisco. Time running out for the Deltas in the final match of this spring season. Stevens trying to create something. Up ahead for Heineman, tries to head it back for Luban, and the Deltas do earn themselves a throw-in, and here comes Devin Sandoval in for Tommy Heineman, who's had a courageous game tonight.
A courageous game is a very good way to describe it, Jason. And, you know, when the Deltas need a goal, they look to their talisman up front, and he's delivered. Very unlucky not to have his third game with a brace this season. And he should get a big hand.
Well, he went off out the end zone because he was too far away to come to the sideline. As also coming on, Mason Trafford.
For Rufen, I believe. Yes, it is. So Rufen, a solid first start for him for the Miami FC.
Deltas on the attack. They try the give and go. Not to be. It will be a goal kick for Daniel Vega.
Sandoval's 2 goals, the late one against the Indy 11, and then from the penalty spot against FC Edmonton. So Heineman gets a big hand here as he comes down the near side of the field.
Deltas trying to put the pressure on, but Miami FC on the attack. Smith
just breezes right by Hopkins' challenge.
Miami FC still on the attack. Ranella gets thrown down by Atakora. That could have been a foul called. Referee says play on, and it will be a throw-in for San Francisco. 4 minutes remaining of the 90. Stevens. For Portilla, will he send it to the box? No. Deltas will regroup back in their own half. Looking for just one right now. Ball up ahead. Jackson into the box, and good effort, but nobody there for San Francisco. Jackson looking for Sandoval. Sandoval, long-range shot, stopped there by Vega. There is a rebound, but nobody there for the Deltas, as Sandoval with a ambitious shot, but a good one, testing Vega.
Curling down and away from the goalkeeper, who parried it, but still put enough spin on it so it didn't turn back into the field of play. But it would have had to be something special from Sandoval from 20 yards out to make it 3-2.
Vega, though, was incensed, I think, with his teammates for even allowing that shot to take place. Dos Santos hydrating. Last 2.5 minutes of the 90. How much stoppage time will the Deltas have? Try to put another one up on the board. Portilla with a chip into the box. Nobody home for San Francisco. And Miami FC will control. Deltas allowing the first goal to Ranella in the 27th minute. As the Deltas on the attack, Jackson in the box. Jackson, chip shot stopped there by Vegas. He was diving to his right. As the Deltas continuing to put up a fight here in the closing minutes of this match against Miami FC. Trying to put on a show for their crowd. And it will be a throw-in for Miami FC, I believe. Mark Dos Santos trying to argue. Looked like the ball had gone. No, it will be a free kick for Miami FC. With just about 1 minute remaining of the 90. And now, will the Deltas press? They do. Sandoval is up there. Stevens is up there. Jordan is up there. Trying to cause pressure of the back line as well as the keeper, Vega. And now Jackson putting on the pressure, as well as Stevens once again trying to force the errant pass. And the Deltas will get it back. Hopkins, his pass given away though. Miami recovers. Atakora. Can Portilla do something? Jackson. Jackson. Will he go for goal? His shot was blocked. And Jackson with the foul. And it will be a free kick for Miami. That's the full 90. Where's the board? Have not seen the extra time. Nothing was put up on the board, so it looks like the referee is just going to call it. The fourth official indicating with his hand there's really no extra stoppage time, which is curious in itself. Miami, though, on the attack, looking for one last effort into the box. Headed down, saved there by Pecer. The rebound, Martinez, and a good defensive effort on the near side, but that will do it. The referee calling it with almost no stoppage time. Final score, Miami FC 3 and the San Francisco Deltas 1. So that concludes the spring season for the San Francisco Deltas in their inaugural